F3 is back, ready to attack in Newark, New Jersey. We have 2 title fights at UFC 328. And the first that we're going to talk about here is the main event, Sean Strickland. He's looking to stop the undefeated Boris Khamzat Chimaev.
Who's really entertaining? You got Chimaev, the fucking goat fucker. Who's really entertaining in this division?
In the co-main event, fearless Josh Van has the title, and he's going to try to stop the Japanese prospect, Tatsuro Taira. We're going to talk about each and every fight on the card. I'm going to give you my full card prediction and the betting breakdown for the whole event. Please smash the like button, suplex, slam the subscribe button if you're just tuning in for the first time. This is the Fight Fiend Forecast, and I'm not only going to give you some picks, some betting leans on this event. Let's start it off with the first fight of the night between Jose Ochoa, 8-2, and 8-2 Clayton Carpenter. Carpenter coming in as underdog here, and it's probably because on the feet, Jose Ochoa is going to have the striking advantage in this fight. He's off a loss where he got taken down, and looking at Clayton Carpenter, he's going to try to do the same thing, but on the feet, the clear advantage in this fight is on the Peruvian, who trains at Shoot a Box, Diego Lima. He's with Charles Oliveira during training camps and some high-level guys. His striking is very clean and accurate. He even knocked out Cody Djorden recently. He's 1-2 in the UFC, suffered 2 losses by a decision here, unanimously. The other was his debut to Loner Kavanagh. That was a tough debut. It was back and forth at times, and I believe at 26, we're going to see improvements from Jose Ochoa, who's trained at Shoot a Box. Clayton Carpenter, he's a young fighter too, under the age of 30. He's almost 30 though, so he's kind of coming into his prime. He has less time to work. He has to make improvements faster, and he's on a 2-fight skid. His back's kind of against the wall. So this is a tough fight to predict. Clayton Carpenter's going to try to get it going with his wrestling on the feet. Let's see if he can make improvements. I'm not trusting that he can, so the pick has to be Jose Ochoa to get it done on the judges' scorecards by a decision. He's going to land more accurately, and he's going to be putting more output when they're striking. His takedown defense should hold up. He should be able to scramble and get back to his feet. Train at Shoot a Box, Diego Lima. Train with Charles Oliveira from time to time and some other high-level guys. I think he is a rightful favorite here, and I'm going to pick him to win. Now join Patreon for all the official bets, parlays this week. I'm not sure how confident I am in taking Jose Ochoa. He is one of my least confident picks this week, being completely honest. So he might just not see the parlays or a bet from me. Next up is a huge betting favorite. He could be a bigger betting favorite, and it's Baisangur Susurkaev, undefeated, fighting Djorden Santos. Santos isn't as bad as I thought, but he lost to Ozzy Diaz by a decision, and that doesn't really look like a good win or a good loss. His last win to Danny Barlow looks like a good win, but at the end of the fight, he was kind of gassing out. He's super hittable. And before the Dana White Contender Series, he was very inactive. He's fought some pretty low-level competition. He went to a split decision 4 years ago with a 3-0 fighter, very green. And that was his fourth last fight. So he's pretty inactive. He's more active now that he's in the UFC. But I don't think his ceiling's too high. And I honestly don't think he's that great of a fighter. His defense isn't great. And I think Baisangur Susurkaev can take advantage, rather if it's on the feet or on the ground. We've seen Susurkaev choke out Eric Nolan. I wouldn't be shocked if Baisangur can go out here and get a submission, but on the feet, he has a lot of knockouts in round 1, too. So I feel like it's going to be a fast finish for the rising prospect, Baisangur Susurkaev. But I'd pause on betting the KO. He could get it done on the ground. Santos might go for a takedown. He might even get the takedown when he goes for it. But Susurkaev should scramble and lock in a submission or find a finish on the feet here with his dynamic strikes and kicks. He has some weapons on the feet, and I expect him to find the finish in round 1 and look like a huge betting favorite. And the next fight on the prelims, we got Pat Sabatini, another wrestler. He's 21-5, and he's going to be taking on William Gomis, 15-3. Talking about the underdog William Gomis here. He goes to a lot of decisions, and a lot of them are close. A couple split decisions in there. He lost a fight to Hyder Emil. He had trouble with the forward pressure and stuff like that.
Oh, go figure. Look at that. Oh, look at that.
And that's something that Pat Sabatini's going to offer in this type of fight. A lot of forward pressure early and takedowns often. And I expect Pat Sabatini to get the takedowns early in this fight, often in this fight. And with that being said, he could get a submission. I'm going to pick him to win by a submission as well. Sabatini has a good rear naked choke. He submitted Jonathan Pierce, and he also submitted Lucas Almeida with an arm triangle. He has a lot of weapons on the ground. He has a lot of variety of submissions, and he can even go for the leg too, something he likes to do. Now, with the strength on the ground, I think he will control his takedowns, and it's going to be tough for William Gomis to scramble, get back to his feet, as Pat Sabatini will be more physical and be able to hold down William Gomis in this type of fight. That's my opinion. I think Sabatini's a great pick. He's going to have a lot of success with these takedowns. He's going to be able to control them. He's going to be more physical. And on the feet, man, he's not that bad. He's going to be working on his striking. He's going to put out enough to make it close on the feet. Gomis isn't throwing a lot. He's very low output. He's picking his shots, counter shots, and he seems flat-footed at times on the back foot. Making a lot of the fights that he's in is very close, going to a split decision. A lot of them going to a decision. But if you look at it, he was finished once a long time ago, and it was to Morgan Charrier, who's not really a submission artist or has a submission threat, but that was the 4th pro fight, looking at it, for the underdog William Gomis. 4th pro fight he was submitted. I'm going to call it to happen here again. Pat Sabatini is going to have too much success with those takedowns. And we can't forget to mention Pat Sabatini is on a 3-fight winning streak right now. He's looking pretty good, staying active as well, doing some grappling matches at Fury. He beat Joe Selecki, Richie Lewis, and a number of other guys. He's staying very active, and you can tell that he's improving on the ground with doing that many grappling matches recently. The unanimous decision with Chepe Mariscal on the 3-fight win streak was very impressive, and the unanimous decision to Joe Anderson Brito. Now, he started it off with that submission to Jonathan Pierce that I mentioned. He got the rear naked choke round 1. So, ever since that fight, he's been looking very strong and physical in there, and this seems like another spot where Pat Sabatini can shine in a good stylistic fight. So he has to be the pick with high confidence this week. Now, looking at the next fight, we've just picked 3 favorites. I might be smelling the underdog. We got Roman Kopylov, 14-5, taking on 14-2 Marco Tulio. And Tulio had 2 chances at the Dana White Contenders Series. He beat Yusri Belgori. His second time, he got a much easier fight and found the finish. Now, his first 2 fights, he got Eor Potieria and Tresean Gore, 2 of the easiest matchups he could have got when he first entered the UFC. Now, Marco Tulio in his last fight, in a step up in competition, he got knocked out. I question his chin. It wasn't the first time he was knocked out, and he can be hittable. His decision-making seems questionable, and I don't think Roman Kopylov can get taken down too easy. That's probably the best path for Marco Tulio to win. Mix it up with the takedowns. But when I take a look at the side of Roman Kopylov recently, although he's on a 2-fight skid, his takedown defense seems to be improving. It's on the feet against RoboCop Paulo Costa there 9 months ago that he got beat unanimously. 2 fights against 2 strikers that are well-rounded. In this fight, the better striker will be Roman Kopylov rather than Marco Tulio. Kopylov's on a 2-fight skid, and he beat Chris Curtis by knockout. I believe it was in round 3. He has 5 knockouts round 3, a couple round 2 finishes. So even if it's a bad start round 1, I would even live bet Kopylov at a better number than plus 155. He might take round 1 off and come back round 2 and 3 like he normally does, and he can even finish the fight with 3 minutes on the clock in round 3. Not much time left. It's expiring. I still trust Roman Kopylov to find a kill shot. The way he sets up his strikes and those kicks, they're lethal, and he's knocked out a lot of people before. Even the liver kick can be there. Kopylov has good cardio, and at 35, I don't expect him to be slowing down. He's on a 2-fight skid. It's time for him to get back into the win column, and it seems like a very winnable fight against Marco Tulio, who just got knocked out as well, to say the least. Marco Tulio just got knocked out to Christian Leroy Duncan, and I don't think Leroy Duncan is a better striker than Roman Kopylov. So Kopylov by KO is the official call here, and he is a underdog pick this week for Fight Fiend Forecast. And next up, we got A10 Jim Miller, the Battle of New York. He's getting Jared Gordon. Jim Miller, he's from New Jersey, and Jared Gordon is from Queens. So the favorite is Jared Gordon. His last fight, he was hit by a car, and then he was hit by Rafa Garcia, knocked out round 3. Comes in as a betting favorite. He should go out here, win by a decision. I see a couple finishes before this fight, so I'm going to call this one by a decision for Jared Gordon. Agree with the price here. Jim Miller's getting old. He's 42, and he got styled on by Bobby Green not too long ago. It was 2 years ago, but it was the third last fight for Jim Miller. He is slowing down at 42. This is kind of a send-away fight, and it's going to be tough for him to finish Jared Gordon. Although Gordon was just finished, and he got hit by a car, he's coming in as a betting favorite, and he can pace his way to a decision. He made a fight with Patty the Batty damn close. He pretty well won the fight. He went to a split decision with Nazard Hakparas. I'm not sitting here and going against Gordon in this fight. Jim Miller's slowing down. You know, he might have Lyme disease still. Just kidding. But yeah, Jim Miller, 42, in New Jersey. I would love to see him win. A nice send-away fight, but stylistically, this is a tough matchup. When you've seen Bobby Green land a number of strikes and stop the takedowns, I believe Jared Gordon can do the same thing. Looking at Jared Gordon, other than that last fight, he's fought pretty good. He even knocked out Thiago Moises. He knocked out Mark Madden. This one, I'd say his next win will be a decision after 2 knockout wins. So Jared Gordon, he's been win-loss, now due for the win. As the favorite, I'm going to have to pick him to go out here and get that win. I know it's tough. He just got hit by a car, and Jim Miller's tough too. So I think we're going to play this one by a decision. Trust in Jim Miller's durability. He's at home in New Jersey. He's not going to want to get knocked out or submitted in front of the fans. I know he won't tap out easily in front of the fans, and Jared Gordon isn't a submission artist. Won his last 2 fights by knockout. I know Jim Miller's tough. He's gonna hang in the fight. Even if he gets clipped, he'll hang in there, and Jared Gordon will probably let off the gas too. Give him benefit of the doubt. Gentleman's agreement. Go to a decision. The Battle of New York, I'm calling Jared Gordon by a decision. In the next fight, I'm gonna call another decision. It's cut and dry. It's Grant Dawson versus Mateusz Rebecki. Rebecki's gonna change camps here. He's normally training with Grant Dawson, and that's probably a good thing. It's gonna make it a close fight. But I don't think his strikes are accurate or powerful enough to do too much damage or cause problems for Grant Dawson. I think Mateusz Rebecki he's gonna be a little bit too overzealous. He's gonna get caught with some looping shots, going wild and crazy, and Grant Dawson can control the craziness with the takedown. With the looping shots, Grant Dawson's gonna duck under and grab a takedown. He could have a number of takedowns in this fight, but what I'm thinking is he's going to control them. He's going to have Mateusz Rebecki on the ground majority of the fight. It's going to be boring. Grant Dawson's going to be going for a lot of submissions, and I don't think he's going to get one. His ground and pound won't be good enough, and even if Grant Dawson's landing good ground and pound, Mateusz Rebecki is tough. He's durable, it's getting hit with an elbow. He could get cut open, you know what I'm saying? He did get split open recently. He's been taking a ton of damage. I think he was bleeding pretty bad in his win to Majtlebic Orobai. Both guys were. And the Chris Duncan one, it was a war. So more damage at the end of the fight is going to be on the side of Mateusz Rebecki. Grant Dawson gets the takedown. He's going to get the damage, right? Ground and pound with some elbows. I don't think he's getting the finish with those elbows. Although Mateusz could get cut open here pretty bad. Be bleeding pretty bad at some points of the fight. He gets cut open easy. And he's going to get controlled majority of the fight. He's going to be put in some bad situations. And Grant Dawson, where he's training now, has the blueprint for Mateusz Rebecki. Rebecki left camp. He's staying in Poland. So sitting at American top team is Grant Dawson with the blueprint. I just don't think he finds a finish. He found a finish against Rafa Garcia, but his other two fights, Joe Selecki, Diego Fieta, went to a unanimous decision. I'm feeling like this is another unanimous decision on the card. Jared Gordon, Grant Dawson, decision dynamite. That might be a good little bet to take. I'm sensing two decisions here on the prelims. Grant Dawson, Jared Gordon. Yeah, Grant Dawson's going to be able to control the takedowns, and having the blueprint of Mateusz Rebecki is going to help him out a lot too. So I'm going Grant Dawson. It's tough picking him because a lot of people want to see him get knocked out. People are actually on Tapology favoring Rebecki here by knockout. So yeah, the people want to see Grant Dawson get knocked out. But I think what realistically happens is Grant Dawson goes out here, wins by a decision. Anything could happen, though. To be honest, I would love to see Grant Dawson get knocked out, too. So, goddamn. If we're betting that decision dynamite, Grant Dawson and Jared Gordon, it might be a sweat. I feel like Mateusz Rebecki is going to give him a fight on the feet. You know, going to Poland's a good thing. But he's still going to come up short. He's going to be showing too much damage. That's a problem. Showing the damage at the end of the fight. Now, Joel Alvarez is going to try to land damage on the newcomer here. Alvarez is 23-3, and he made the move to welterweight. Probably a good move. He's a big frame. He was a big frame for 155. Now, at 170, he fits in perfect. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He has momentum, but his last loss makes me believe in this fight he's going to take another loss. He gets the Ukrainian, former Bellator champ, Amosov, who is 29-1, a ton of experience. He's only lost once in his career, and that was his last fight in Bellator, where he got knocked out to Jason Jackson. Alvarez has a variety of strikes on the feet, and he's very long. He's a long fighter, and he can handle his range good. In and out of the pocket, side to side. So Joel Alvarez could find a knockout, but he could get taken down, and I see him getting taken down in this fight. I know Amosov won his last two fights by a submission by Anaconda, but he had 2 decision wins to Logan Storley in the past at Bellator and Douglas Lima. So I feel a decision here with the takedowns and control. Yaroslav Amosov is going to be able to control his takedowns. He's going to be able to get them, but on the feet it could be close. I do believe in Joel Alvarez from Spain, 4-fight win streak. Underdog, there's some value there too. But he did get taken down to Arman Tsarukyan. Since then, he's never really fought guys that could test him like that. Vicente Luque kind of tested him, but not like Yaroslav will here in this fight. 29-1 is the former Bellator champ, and he has good takedowns. I think he'll get them, control them. Can he find an anaconda is the question. Will he submit Joel Alvarez? I highly doubt it. Joel's pretty nasty with his Durs choke. And looking at Joel in his 23 wins, he has 17 by a submission. This is not going to be an easy guy to submit. He's never been submitted. He has 17 wins out of 23. I think Joel Alvarez is most likely to lose by a decision. It's a tough one. Yaroslav Amosov, 29-1 here, is new to the UFC, and he didn't have much time in his debut. He went out in round 1 and submitted Neil Magny. He didn't have much time to show us what he can do, but looking at Bellator, he had a number of decisions at the end of his career in Bellator. The Logan Storley fights, Douglas Lima, those were championship fights. 5-rounders, I do believe. So he has the gas, takedowns, and on the feet he can make it close. Maybe even be the better striker. But Joel Alvarez, hard to count him out as an underdog. He's game. He's on a 4-fight win streak. Just made the move to welterweight. He's been in the UFC for a while now. So he's going to be tough to beat. 8-2 in the UFC is Joel Alvarez. Not an easy guy to beat, but I'm going to say he takes a loss here against the Ukrainian, former Bellator champ. This is going to be a very good fight, and this leads into the prelim headliner with the biggest favorite on the card, Ateba Gautier and Ozzy Diaz. Ozzy and Djorden Santos are two fighters I don't believe in whatsoever. I believe they should be big underdogs, and I don't think they're going to do much. I'm calling the round 1 finish for Ateba Gautier, just like I did Baisangur Susurkaev, but I'm not scared Ateba could land a submission. He's all KO, he's all power, and on the feet, Ozzy's in trouble right away. If he goes for a takedown, huge mistake, he's going to get caught with an uppercut, he's going to get shrugged off and knocked out. Ozzy is going to look like Kevin Christian in this fight. He's not going to be able to get the takedowns, he's going to be trying to shoot them, and on the feet, he's going to be getting picked apart. Early and often, he's going to be getting picked apart. Ateba won his last fight by a decision, so I'm a lot more confident in this fight. He's going to go out here and get the early finish. Last fight he showed us he can go 15. If it goes late, it gets dragged out, he's going to show up. So we know the cardio checks out for Ateba. He's a serious prospect to look out for. But in this particular fight, as a huge betting favorite versus Ozzy Diaz, out of anyone in the middleweight division, it's a round 1 finish for Ateba Gautier. Look at his wins. He has 8 knockouts, 2 decisions, and 7 knockouts were finished in round 1. Ozzy Diaz, ladies and gentlemen, has been knocked out 3 times in his 3 losses, 2 of them in round 1. So let's go finish the prelims with a quick finish. Ateba is the real deal, and the UFC is letting you know that. He fights at 185, and the last fight of the night for the title is at 185, Khamzat and Strickland. This might be an indication that Ateba Gautier will be fighting for a championship someday. He's someone that's going to be on the rise in this weight class. The 185-pound division, middleweight, has a lot of contenders, but Ateba Gautier is the prelim headliner with the belt on the line later tonight on this event. So I think they're going to showcase what he can do.
Kane is in the building.
Already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come to the show.
We're ready to attack. Now let's see what we can do in New Jersey. God damn it. What the hell can we do on this main card? To start it off, we got Bobby Green and Jeremy Stephens. If you rewind to the Jared Gordon, Jim Miller prediction, this is the same one I would give for Bobby Green to beat Jeremy Stephens by a decision. Bobby Green, he has his hands down low a lot of the time. I would love to see him get knocked out, and I actually would be more likely to bet Jeremy Stephens as an underdog rather than Jim Miller because of that, with Bobby Green and his hands down. But Bobby Green can go out here, maybe mix it up with some takedowns. He can land more often, more accurately, and just make this a fun fight. Jeremy is old in his career. He hasn't been active. He's at BKFC fighting low-level competition where Bobby Green's in there with some legit contenders. He finished off the contender, which once was Daniel Zellhuber. He beat a newcomer in Lance Gibson Jr., who isn't some walk in the park. He was just in there with Patty the Batty, Mauricio Ruffi. He came out on the wrong end and got finished, but he was still in there with some high-level competition. And what he did to Jim Miller is probably what he's going to do in this fight to Jeremy Stephens. It's going to be a decision to start the main card, back and forth fight at times. Jeremy's not going to slow down. He's going to make it a fun one. But he's 39, and he hasn't been in the UFC, where Bobby is 39 as well. And he's been in the UFC. He's been entertaining. He's been collecting bonuses. And he's ready to beat up an old Jeremy Stephens at this point. Jeremy's past his prime, and his record's not great. 29-22. His only way to win would be KO or bust if you're playing him to win this weekend in New Jersey. But stylistically, it's a tough one to knock out Bobby Green. And if Bobby Green just knocked out Daniel Zellhuber 15-3, young prospect, I would be shocked if Jeremy Stephens goes out here and upsets Bobby, wins a decision, or knocks out Bobby. I would be shocked if Jeremy can win this fight after that monster win for King Green 2 months ago. Enough said. Pretty much the same prediction that I gave for Jared Gordon versus Jim Miller. This fight will look like Bobby Green versus Jim Miller, something like that. Maybe more action on the side of the underdog, Jeremy Stephens. He's going to be pressing forward, throwing haymakers. But I could see Bobby getting some takedowns when those haymakers are coming in. Bobby just has to shoot in. His wrestling's a little bit underrated. He's been in there with guys like Makachev, Patty. So he's not a stranger on the ground. He does have a couple takedowns in the UFC, and in this fight he might need them if Jeremy's throwing haymakers at him. The next one is a fighter that loves to throw haymakers. Joaquin Buckley, off a loss to Kamaru Usman, now fighting Sean Brady, 18-2. And stylistically, this is a great fight for the underdog. The second underdog I'm going to take on the event here. Buckley as an underdog. It could be bait, but hey, Sean Brady on the feet. Ain't nothing special. He's been knocked out twice, and those are his 2 losses. He got knocked out recently and to Bilal Muhammad. And yeah, a lot of other guys might have got knocked out if that's what you think. But defensively, Sean Brady isn't great on the feet. Offensively, Sean Brady isn't great on the feet. He needs a lot of work there. He's primarily a grappler. He has 6 submission wins, 9 decision wins, and he mixes it up with his wrestling pretty good too. Now, Leon Edwards got choked out round 4 to Sean Brady, so he has a good guillotine. He has a lot of guillotine wins, and he has a Kimura too that Buckley has to be aware of. However, Buckley is grappling recently. He's trying to improve his wrestling. And I think he can make enough improvements in this fight to keep it on the feet. But he is an underdog. It's tough to say that. Brady's going to be shooting these takedowns. However, if Brady can't get the takedowns, this is Buckley's fight to win. He's by far the better striker. And I think the advantage is bigger on the feet for Buckley than the advantage is for Sean Brady on the ground. So with that being said, even if a takedown occurs from Sean Brady and he can get the wrestling going, I don't think he can keep it up for the whole fight, and I don't think it's going to win him rounds in some of these close ones. If Buckley can get back to his feet, keep it striking for half a round, and Brady spend half a round on the ground doing nothing, I think Buckley's going to steal the rounds in a close decision, and I think Buckley's more likely to land the knockout on the feet rather than Brady is to land a submission in this fight. So this is another opportunity. Underdog by knockout. I got to go Buckley in this one. He's been a fan of mine recently. I know the last fight didn't go his way, but he builds himself up pretty good, and he cares a lot about the sport, where Sean Brady doesn't seem to build himself up very good. He's not very marketable. Both guys are getting handed tough fights. Both guys are at the top of the welterweight division. But at this point, they're in a tough matchup against each other, and only one man can win. With the value, I would have to go Buckley, blindfolded in this fight. Every fight starts on the feet, and I'm telling you, the striking advantage is by far greater for Joaquin Buckley rather than the grappling advantage Sean Brady's going to have on the mat. So I'm going with the striker rather than the wrestler / grappler in this fight. Going with the striker. Buckley's going to knock him out. Let's go to the next prediction in New Jersey, where I'm going to say Alexander Volkov can stop Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Waldo is on a 3-fight winning streak, but he beat Derek Lewis, Shamil Gaziev, and a questionable one that was kind of weird, that he got eye-poked or he got knocked out, and then the fight got restarted. He ended up getting the knockout. So that was a weird performance there. He's on a 3-fight win streak, though, and I don't think he can hold up versus Volkov, who's 6'7" here. He's going to have the reach advantage, the height advantage, and the experience advantage. He went to a split decision with Cyril Gane, a fight where he could have won. It rightfully was his fight, but the judges gave it to Gane. Now, Volkov would be on a big win streak if it wasn't for that. He beat Sergey Pavlovich by a decision, looking back a year and 10 months ago. And 8 months ago, Waldo took the loss unanimously to Sergey Pavlovich. I know MMA math, you can throw it out the window a lot of the time, but at heavyweight, that's a good indicator where these guys are at. Even though Volkov's 37, Waldo's not a young buck. He's 34. He just fights off the jab, and he's overrated, in my opinion. Volkov is levels above Waldo Cortes-Acosta, but from fight to fight, you don't know what you're going to get from the fighter, when they're going to start to slow down. Maybe they just don't look the same as they did in their previous fights. But if Volkov looks half as good as he did in that Jailton Almeida fight, let alone the Cyril Gane fight, he's going to go out here and not only beat Waldo Cortes-Acosta, possibly finish him. He might just need 70% of what he had in those other fights. He had a nice Ezekiel choke to Tai Tuivasa. Maybe that's something not to look at, because Tai Tuivasa sucks. He sucks. But Volkov, he has a sneaky submission. He doesn't have many of them. He has a lot of knockouts. 39 wins, 24 knockouts, only 4 submissions. But Volkov could find the finish. He's powerful on the feet. He has fought by far the better competition. And, you know, the height is going to be a problem for Waldo. Waldo's not going to be able to land the jab, just fight off a jab all night. Volkov has much better defense than Derek Lewis, Shamil Gaziev, Sergey Pavlovich, Sergey Spivak. Those are the last fights for Waldo Cortes-Acosta. So he's going to be fighting someone way out of his skill range, in my opinion. Defensively, Volkov is going to hold up. Offensively, he's going to be the much better fighter, and we're going to see levels in this fight. I think that's why he's a betting favorite. I was kind of shocked. Odds were so wide here. Volkov could be a pick-em with Waldo with the hype Waldo has at 17-2 right now. But Volkov, you know, he's a gamer. Arguably beat, or he probably did. He just got robbed to Cyril Gane. Let me know. Did he get robbed? He definitely arguably beat him. If you're going to have an argument, you could have it all day. It was a split decision with Cyril Gane. It could have been anyone's fight. Volkov looked very good. If he looks half as good as he did in those previous fights, he's going to go out here and get the win with ease. And I'm willing to pay the price, minus 185 in this one. Volkov is the play at heavyweight. And I do believe he is live for that finish. By a decision, though, he's going to be getting his hand raised unanimously. It's going to be that obvious. In the next one, it could be pretty obvious too, although it's a title fight. One thing to mention about this title fight, 2 very young fighters. You don't normally see a title fight with two guys under the age of 26. 26 is Tatsuro Taira from Japan, 18-1, and 24 is the champ, Joshua Van, 16-2. Van's the boxer. His takedown defense is pretty good. His output is high. His accuracy is phenomenal. But hey, Tatsuro Taira could be one of the first fighters from Japan to become a UFC champion, maybe the second. And this kid's good. He's a betting favorite. He's been growing as a betting favorite this week. And he has a lot of finishes too. Alex Perez, it was an injury, so that's not one to really look at. But his last two fights, he finished the former champ, Brandon Moreno. In round 2, he made easy work of Hunsun Park with a face crank, and he submitted Carlos Hernandez, who seems to be tough to finish, but Tatsuro's been making easy work of a lot of his opponents. He took a split decision loss a year and 6 months ago to Brandon Royval, and Raw Dog is a dog. He made that fight very close. I think it went down to round 5. So Tatsuro has been in a 5-round fight before. He's been tested, obviously. And Joshua Van hasn't really got tested much since, when was it? Probably the Brandon Royval fight. That was another close one. Unanimous decision. He was tested with Ray Tatsuro a little bit. Cody Djorden beat him by a decision with ease. Knocked out Bruno Silva. Was all over him. Charles Johnson tested Joshua Van round 3. Van seemed to run out of cardio in that fight. Round 3, he got caught with the uppercut. He might have lost his gas, but since then his cardio has looked fine. In a 5-round fight, we haven't seen it though. And Pantoja went out round 1 within 20 seconds of the fight. So we didn't see much of Joshua Van versus a high-level fighter. And we seen 5 rounds. Or we were supposed to see 5 rounds of Brandon Moreno and Tatsuro Taira, and they only needed 2. He finished them. He was in there with someone high level, and it wasn't just an injury that finished the fight. So Tatsuro has the better experience in the UFC, although he's not champ yet. He has more experience. His 5 rounds with Brandon Royval is going to be huge here too. So, I mean, although it's a championship fight, I'm pretty confident Tatsuro Taira can become the new champion. And I think Joshua Van is overrated. His boxing is good. You can't count him out. But where is he training? 4-ounce Fight Club. He's not at the highest level gym. They're a gym on the come up, trying to make a name for themselves. And I know Tatsuro, he's at no big fancy gym either. But the way he's been taking these guys out, he's a high-level black belt. He's very slick, and he's been in the UFC quite some time now. He is 8-1 in the UFC. Joshua Van sitting pretty, 9-1. So Joshua Van has more fights in the UFC right now, the champ. We'll see what happens. I'm picking Tatsuro Taira in this fight. Hard to see how he's going to take advantage of Joshua Van. Joshua Van and his boxing, it's very good. If he's going to get knocked out, he would have to get caught with something with a counter or ground and pound with Tatsuro Taira, and his relentless pressure, his takedowns will be nonstop, and he might even go for a submission. Joshua Van could defend a lot of the submissions off. He easily could. It's tough to say if he can or not. You know, he hasn't really been tested, so I could see this fight going a number of ways for Tatsuro. And Joshua Van, I don't really see him winning much ways other than keeping it very smart on the feet, avoiding all takedowns. And yeah, it's tough for Joshua Van as a champ to defend this belt, in my opinion. It's tough for me to find a reason or a path, explanation for him to make it close and competitive with Tatsuro. I think Tatsuro is too smart on the feet. His IQ is off the charts. His takedowns are slick. trips, however he wants to get down Joshua, I believe it will happen. It's just a matter of will a finish happen or not. It's a 5-round fight, obviously. It's going to be a long one. Someone could gas out. These boys could be throwing. But I expect a calculated fight from the champion, being very smart here. You know, a lot is on the line now. They've had to reschedule this one. It was supposed to be April 11th, so they had an extra month to prepare. This is a big fight, but I don't believe Joshua Van can do enough in this one to beat Tatsuro Taira. I just don't see it in the future.
Step in ambulances if you like that. Pop another bottle if you like that.
Now in the main event, I'm seeing it a lot more clear, cut and dry, so I'm not going to waste your time. Sean Strickland's coming in as a 5-1 betting underdog. Khamzat is a huge favorite here, and Khamzat has the forward pressure and the relentlessness with the takedowns, where he will get a takedown in this fight. Strickland was never submitted, but there is a first time for everything, and if he does get taken down, it's going to be too tough to get Khamzat off of him. And knowing that they have sparred together, they've trained before in the past, and Khamzat's made him tap multiple times, I believe Khamzat will submit him, no problem. Maybe it's not round 1, maybe it's not round 2 or 3, but it could be round 4. It could be round 5. More likely round 4, maybe round 3, but Khamzat is going to gas out Sean Strickland. He's going to keep taking him down on the feet. He's going to be doing damage, and Strickland can't fight off a jab. Just like Waldo Cortes-Acosta can't just fight off a jab. These boys are in serious danger in this matchup, in their matchups, because they can't just fight off a jab. For Khamzat Chimaev, how is he going to handle being a champion? Can he defend the belt? Is he going to go out here win a decision? He obviously couldn't find a finish with Dricus, Usman, Usman. Gilbert Burns couldn't find the finish. Strickland, very hard to submit. Tough to say. Khamzat's going to submit him, but that's what I am going to forecast here. He's going to get a takedown. He's going to gas out Sean Strickland, who has an incredible cardio. So to think Sean Strickland will gas is crazy to say, but I could see it happening. I think Khamzat has the better cardio, and I think his grappling is off the charts. Knowing that he has submitted Sean Strickland before in training, in sparring sessions, I'm going to probably take a stab at that submission bet for Khamzat Chimaev. First time that Sean gets submitted here. Strickland is in danger in this fight on the ground. He's a 5-1 underdog. I know he pulled it off before, became a champ as a 5-1 underdog versus Israel Adesanya, but Adesanya is the striker. And being a striker, Adesanya was on the way out. Khamzat is here. He just became the champ, and I do believe he'll be here and the champ in this weight class for a little bit. Maybe he even moves up a weight class, but that would not be the smartest idea. He's not the biggest frame, and he wouldn't be very big at light heavyweight. Middleweight is the right weight class for Khamzat Chimaev, and this is the right fight to make. Strickland is going to make this entertaining all week long. I can't wait to hear all this shit talk. I expect it to be very loud and the media to cover a lot, because Strickland's going to give you a lot to cover this week. I expect maybe something crazy to happen between him and Khamzat. Get a little hands-on at the face-offs. Not just like face-off, nose to nose. Very intense, like someone's going to push one another. Someone's going to maybe throw a punch early. Something's going to escalate. This is going to be a crazy fight week. Strickland's going to be talking so much trash at the presser to Khamzat. Khamzat can speak English too, and he doesn't like people being disrespectful. So this is going to be fireworks all week long. Hopefully the fight doesn't get canceled. Khamzat had a big stir one week where everybody was fighting out back. A bunch of fights had to get turned around. Hopefully there's no nonsense like that, but there will 100% be nonsense this week between Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland. This fight week will be electric. This fight will be electric. Official call, Khamzat by sub. Tough to call that. Strickland never submitted. High-level black belt. Hard to take down. Former champ himself. But Khamzat will find a way in this fight. He's not just going to be a champ that goes out and wins a bunch of decisions. He's going to be able to find a finish in this one. He's submitted Strickland many times before in training. I even predicted Khamzat Chimaev to become the champion. When I heard all that, Strickland was speaking very highly of Khamzat. So now that they fight, I'm very excited to see it. They are very familiar with each other.
Khamzat, he's just a massive welterweight, dude. And the guy's fucking crazy. Like he believes in himself so much. Where I don't think Gilbert has the tools. I mean, non-biased. Yeah, I think he's gonna run through him.
Well, what'd you learn from yourself going up against that guy? The Schmo saw you two going at it. You were paired together during the grappling and obviously the striking.
I don't know. What'd you think?
Well, I thought he was good competition.
Yeah, what did you think, though?
Well, I thought you both learned from each other.
What did you think, though, watching?
Well, I think you held your own standing, but on the ground, he does what he does.
Did he fuck me up on the ground? I want your honest opinion. Tell me.
He made you tap a couple of times. The Schmo saw it, but do you want the world to know this stuff or what?
You could tell the world. Listen, guys, jiu-jitsu, I do the fucking man game, the fucking man dance.
We're going to be doing some live streams. So Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Prop Fiends are live on YouTube. Stay forecasted as we give out $50 every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the Prop Fiends show. Fast forecast, probably ready to attack at some point this week with Prelim Tim. And then maybe a parlay show, maybe a watch party live during the event. So stay forecasted. F3 is going live. And we are having a lot of fun every Friday. You don't want to miss a show as F3 is ready to go. Please smash that like button. Suplex slam the subscribe button if you have not yet. And come back for more fun later in the week, F3.